Have you ever had that moment where someone pops into your mind so loudly it feels like they're standing right next to you? And then, minutes later, there they are. Most people shrug it off as coincidence. A lucky guess. My brain just did a thing. But what if your brain didn't guess at all? What if it connected? Here's the truth that's hard to ignore. Two people aren't just two bodies walking around. Your consciousness inside a nervous system, electrical activity, magnetic fields, emotion, attention, memory, all moving, all broadcasting. Your thoughts aren't made of air, but they aren't nothing either. They're patterns, signals, vibration. And the more emotionally linked you are to someone, the stronger that signal can feel. Think of telepathy less like magic and more like a signal you forgot you can tune into. There's a story that nails this perfectly. Two people are trying to find each other. One of them is driving, focused on the road, half distracted, scanning familiar spots where the other person usually hangs out. They're looking, but they're not really present. Their mind is busy. Their attention is split. Meanwhile, the other person is standing still, watching, waiting, aware. And in that quiet, something strange happens. Instead of calling, instead of texting, they push a message through the space between them. Not with a voice, not with words, with pure knowing. Turn back. Just like that. Clear, sharp, undeniable. And the driver feels it. Not like a thought they invented, more like a thought that arrived, a sudden inner command that doesn't match their previous plan. Turn back. So they do. They make the turn. They drive the way they came. And there, right where the message said they'd be, is the person. In real life. In the flesh. Exactly as the thought predicted. And for a split second, the driver freaks out. Because what do you do when your mind just proved it can reach beyond the limits you were taught? What do you do when reality gets too accurate? Here's where it gets even more interesting. Research is finally catching up to what humans have whispered about for centuries. In one magnetoencephalography (MEG) study, researchers observed distinct brain patterns during telepathic-style interactions, especially synchronized activity in areas tied to social cognition. In plain language, when two people connect without speaking, the brain doesn't look random. It looks organized, like two systems aligning. That doesn't prove telepathy in the Hollywood sense, but it does challenge the lazy explanation that it's all fantasy. Something measurable happens when minds lock in. And it's not just neuroscience peeking through the curtain. Some researchers are also exploring telepathy through a quantum lens, asking whether consciousness could involve quantum processes like entanglement. That's still debated, still unfolding, but the takeaway is powerful. Modern science is at least willing to ask the question that old traditions have asked forever. What if connection doesn't stop at skin? Another fascinating angle, a model proposed by Dr. Morris Friedman, suggests that the brain may act like a filter, suppressing psi abilities like telepathy rather than creating them. And experiments using repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation, RTMS, hint that when certain brain regions are inhibited, telepathic-like performance can actually increase. Translation: the ability might not be something you learn from scratch. It might be something you unmute. Now bring that back to the story, because this is the part people miss. The driver didn't get the message because they were forcing it. They got it because someone else was broadcasting with clarity. And the driver, despite being distracted, was still emotionally tuned to that person. That bond created a channel. We see versions of this all the time. Brains synchronize during deep conversation, during shared emotion, during intense moments. You felt it. You walk into a room and instantly know the vibe without anyone speaking. You sense someone's tension before they admit they're upset. That's not supernatural. That's intersubjectivity, humans syncing through attention and emotion. So why did the driver panic? Because when the mind does something powerful, most people interpret it through fear instead of skill. Instead of stopping, breathing, asking, "What was that? What do I need to hear?" they speed up. They push it away. They keep moving. That's the tragedy. The message arrives, and we run. But here's the opportunity. The next time you get that unmistakable nudge, call them, turn around, don't go there, check on them. Don't dismiss it. Don't make it spooky. Make it useful. Treat it like a signal. Pause. Get quiet. Notice what your body is telling you. Notice what your attention is magnetized toward, and ask one simple question. If this isn't random, what is it trying to connect me to? Because whether you call it telepathy, intuition, synchronization, or consciousness-to-consciousness communication, one thing is clear. Humans are more connected than we pretend. And if you want more of these moments, more clarity, more accuracy, more control over your own mental signal, start training the channel. Reduce noise, strengthen emotional awareness, and practice sending a clean message instead of a chaotic one. Your mind is not weak. It's just been taught to whisper. Now it's time to learn how to listen, and how to speak without saying a word.